What's going on, guys? Duelim here, backing in with another video. And today, we're going to be talking about Sasquatch's initial release, his ISO 8 class, and all of the essential T4s that you're going to need to make him do the best that he can on the Alpha Flight team. We're also going to be talking about the milestone events of the Great White North, which is going to be bolstered by the web milestone of Winter in June, and also the White event Alliance milestone. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Kicking off the video, we're going to be talking about the Whiteout Alliance milestone, and this is going to be for completing war battles and also collecting one allied supply 5 orb fragment. And this one is pretty straightforward. It's just like the other ones we've had. And the rewards aren't too bad. You'll see down below here, we do have some dog tags, which are going to be the monthly milestone currency. And then we also have at milestone 16, we have 10 Dokken shards, which is about as far as we're going to be able to get on this one. That's going to be because we are going to be limited, like I said, to the war attacks, but then also limited by how many allied supply for 5 orb fragments that they give us every day. It ranges between 500 and 1,000 for the free claim. If it is 1,000, we can get to milestone 16, but if it is only 500, we'll be down to milestone 15. So don't be expecting to get any of this Crimson gear or these Panda Pool shards unless you have some spenders in your alliance that are going to kind of fill that void that we are not going to be getting from Scopely. Next up, we're going to be talking about the Great White North event, and this one is pretty straightforward, really easy. Essentially just don't put Cabal on defense in Crucible, which if you're already doing that, why? They're not as good on defense as they are on offense. But you can see you get a lot of points for just using them. And then the normal star gates at 5-star for Iron Patriot, 6-star for Iron Patriot, 7-star, and then same thing for Leader, 5, 6, and 7. Oddly enough, no milestone points for having Namor on the team at all. It's literally just the 2 new characters, which is odd. But also spending ISO campaign energy, so make sure you are doing that as well. And then spending power cores. So if you guys are hoarders of power cores, you could spend them, but I honestly don't think it's worth it for these rewards, especially if you're only getting 6 power cores per. Let's say if you are only able to get to this milestone 16 at 109,000, to be able to finish it, you'd need another 20,000 cores to get down to the end here. And I don't think that's worth it whatsoever. We also have the Blitz milestone here that is going to be for, that's bolstering this. This is the Winter in June. So this is going to take about 3 Blitz rotations a day, which is not too bad at all. As you can see, you only need 20,000 points total, but you are going to get a lot of progress for the Great White North milestone points, and you'll get a lot of monthly currency as well. But it's definitely not enough to warrant coring to try to get higher unless you're really close, and then you're able to maybe throw in a couple extra cores. But I don't think it's worth it trying to like use the core orb for Sasquatch or anything like that. It's just not worth it. The rewards aren't that great, and there's no leaderboard to get you a lot of Crimson gear, so I don't recommend it. But since we are talking about Sasquatch, let's get back into the game and let's go see what his essential T4s are and his ISO 8 class. All right, and for Sasquatch, you can see here, he is a Hero Global Bio. He is the protector of the Alpha Flight team. And he is definitely a protector with a speed of 100. He is not fast at all, but he doesn't really need to be. He's a pretty good character, actually. He's got a really good kit. Starting off with the basic is Savage Strike here. So you'll see he'll be gaining defense up, offense, or deflect. And then the T4 is gaining an extra 2 deflect, but also the ability right below that, ability level right below that at 6. In raids and on war defense, clear 1 random negative effect from self and all Alpha Flight allies. So this right there screams Striker to me, just looking at his basic. But we'll keep looking at it to determine what we're going to put on him. But the T4 for this, kind of meh, honestly, unless you want to make the team like way tankier. that's the only other thing that would be worth putting the T4 on him, but the extra 2 deflex isn't really going to change or be the difference between a win or a loss, unless they're not the best team in raids and you really need that T4. But honestly, I'd say it's a skip. Next up, we've got Rocky Pummel. So this actually clears a barrier on all enemies, which is really cool. Applying slow as well. Reducing speed bar primary target by 100%, so that's great as well. And then the T4 is doing extra damage and then applying safeguard to self and all Alpha Flight allies, which I think is kind of a necessity. Safeguard is such a good ability, or such a good positive effect, and it just means that you can't have things stripped off of you. So I feel like the special is kind of essential to make this team really, really good. Again, Safeguard is just an incredible positive effect. Also, he's going to be going last on the team as well because he's got the slowest speed. So he's going to be putting that Safeguard on last, and then everybody else is going to be have that Safeguard for a long amount of time, so a long period of time. So it's not like he's going to put the Safeguard on and then everybody's going to take their turn and then it's just gone. So this is a really, really good T4 to have. For his ult, Thrashing Rampage, again, clearing all barrier on all enemies. Prolong the duration of all positive effects on this character by 1. Apply offense down, gains extra focus as well. Then you got some damage here. And then for the T4, we got extra damage. And then also in raids on war defense, applied trauma for 2 turns. Once again, just as good as Safeguard. Trauma is probably the best negative effect in the game, so this is an essential to have as a T4. A no-brainer in my opinion, and it also does it to primary and adjacent, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, primary and secondary targets. So this is putting Trauma out there for 2 turns to every enemy that this hits. And we obviously know in raids, there's going to be a lot of people on the field at once, up to 10. So putting Trauma out onto possibly 6 people is pretty nuts. And then for his passive, Woodland Wanderer. So this is a long one. So on spawn, apply defense up for 2 turns, 2 death proof to self to all allies. When this character drops below 35% health, gains stealth for 2 turns. So he's tanky, and then he gains stealth when he drops below and gets death proof. Then on enemy death, heal self for 5% of this character's max health. And then in raids, gain 100% crit chance, or counter attack chance. And this is what changes his ISO 8 and makes him a prime skirmisher. So he here in raids on war defense, on enemy death, apply offense down. And then we'll scroll down to the T4 here. In raids and on war defense, gain 100% of max health in raids and on war defense. While this character has defense up and does not have exhausted, gain 100% extra damage for self and Alpha Flight allies. So this guy literally, he doubles your health and doubles your damage. He's absolutely the best character on the team because he does this, and he's putting all those deflex up, and he's rewinding turn meter, and he's putting up Safeguard, and he's putting up trauma. He's ridiculous. Like, he is a really, really, really good character. And when I was talking about in raids gain 100% a chance to counterattack, him being skirmisher, I thought that was the Dark Beast where he's gonna assist the whole time, but he's not. So I still actually like Striker the best because of the extra 2 deflex. But there is a case to be made for maybe Raider on him because his ult is primary and adjacent. But we already kind of have Raiders when it comes to like Sunspot, and it comes to Wolverine are good Raiders as well, and probably North Star. So Sasquatch is probably going to be a striker, and Sunfire will probably be the strikers of the team, honestly. And then North Star will probably be the skirmisher at low stars, and then the Raider at higher stars because he's going to hit really hard, but you want to make sure his stuff can land. But that's going to be it for Sasquatch. I definitely recommend the T4 on the special, ult, and passive. And then I'm going to be trying out Skirmisher on him, Striker on him, because he's going to have a lot of health as well as a protector. So those Striker 5 ISO attacks are going to be hitting really hard. And obviously, we have to take him to at least Blue 4 ISO to be able to use him in the raids. But yeah, that's going to be it for Sasquatch. All right, that's going to be my T4 and ISO 8 recommendation for Sasquatch, and that's going to be a review of the events that are going on for this week. It seems like a pretty straightforward week. We just have to blitz a little bit. We have to play Cosmic Crucible, which if you're not, why? Because that's the best game mode. And then you have to use Cabal on offense, which pretty much everybody's been doing that anyway. And then you just got to play in some war attacks with your alliance to be able to get that alliance milestone done. But that's going to be it. A pretty simple week. But until next time, this has been Duelim. Later, y'all.